Hello and a warm welcome to this Headlines Today special presentation as UPA2 celebrates its 4th anniversary. Headlines Today along with C Voter takes a look at what might happen if elections were to be held today. Joining me in the studios at this time is C Voter's chief psephologist Yashwant Deshmukh. I want to introduce our political panel for this show. We've got one of India's leading political journalists, Veer Sanghvi, with us. Representing the Congress party on the show is Tehseen Poonawala. I must also make a disclaimer to our viewers that the Congress party decided that its official spokespersons will not be attending this broadcast. They say, we've got our report card, that's the only one we care about. Also with us, Sandeep Bamzai, editor, Mail Today. Joining us at this time will be various leaders of the key political parties. We will first be looking at big states, then we'll be projecting nationally. At this time, representing the Samajwadi Party, we've got Kamal Farooqi. Representing the BSP, we've got Sudhindra Bhaduria. Representing the BJP, Chandan Mitra. But I first want to go across to the Insta trackpad and get Yashwant Deshmukh to explain to our viewers the methodology for this opinion poll and also why this poll is important. And I must tell all those watching Headlines Today at this time that this is the first national opinion poll where Yashwant and his team have asked respondents the question, what would your voting preference be if the BJP were to project Narendra Modi as the party's prime ministerial candidate? There's been a lot of talk, but all of that has been in the realm of conjecture. This is the first time we will add numbers to that political question. If Modi were to be projected as the BJP's prime ministerial candidate, will voters change their preferences? I want Yashwant first to explain why this poll is important and also the methodology, Yashwant, that the C Voter team has used in putting this poll together.
Well, many of our friends know that C Voter actually does a weekly poll all across India, and it has been doing so for the last many years. So we are tracking this report card not because of this last week's number, but we are tracking right where UPA2 started its inning 4 years back. And since then, we have been polling and asking more than 250,000 people across 540 parliamentary segments in India. And the current poll is just the culmination of this entire exercise plus the 10,000 samples which I have carried in the last 2 months.
Okay. Let's now come straight to the question of what happened in Uttar Pradesh. What we'll be doing to explain to our viewers is looking at each of the big battleground state for the first 50 odd minutes. Then we'll be looking at the national projection. So I want to come straight to Uttar Pradesh and I want to take a look at what happens in Uttar Pradesh if elections were to be held at this time. This is the key battleground state with 80 seats. The Samajwadi Party, which performed very well in the assembly elections which were held recently, increasing its tally by 6 seats, their tally going up from 23 to 29. The Congress, which did really well in the last elections, now slated to come down by about 15 seats, the tally for Congress coming down to about 6. The BSP, which picked up 20 seats in the last Lok Sabha elections, its tally expected to go up to 27, a gain of 7 seats. The BJP, which picked up only 10 seats, if they don't project Modi, expected to pick up only 4 more seats, going up to 14, whereas the RLD picked up 5 seats, they're now projected to pick up 4. Yashwant, explain these numbers to our viewers.
Big story from UP is basically the numbers of the Congress getting down from 21. That was a real big high time in the recent past to a mere 6 seats. And these 6 also, I would say, a good optimistic number because UP is coming out to be a big disaster for the Congress. And who are the gainers? The prime gainers are Samajwadi Party and Mayawati. So UP at the moment is pretty much bipolar. Yes, the BJP has slightly increased the numbers. These are primarily in urban areas where the Congress had done really well in the last parliamentary election. BJP has recovered slightly around 4 seats in Uttar Pradesh, but UP remains a bipolar race with Mulayam Singh leading and Mayawati following.
Okay, at this time, I want to go across to Headlines Today's political editor, Javed Ansari. He's got senior BJP leader and leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Arun Jaitley, with him. We will be taking, Javed, our viewers through the results for each of the states. But what are Mr. Jaitley's broad takeaways on the 4th anniversary of the UPA Part 2? Javed.
Sir, UPA completes its 4th anniversary today. What are your takeaways? How would you rate their performance?
Well, ordinarily, anniversary is the cause of celebration. But this one is full of despondency. It's full of gloom. Never has been the public opinion against the government so cynical as it is today. And therefore, if you were to ask me to name one achievement of the UPA, I'd say they've managed to stick on in power. Besides that, I don't think they have any other cause to celebrate.
So this must be music to your ears. And election surveys, we've done a State of the Nation poll which shows the UPA and especially the Congress going down big time, and the BJP is gaining.
Well, I'm not surprised because I think the Congress will lose almost all throughout, barring a state here or there. And the largest non-Congress combination will gain. Now, whoever occupies the non-Congress space in a given state will gain. And since we happen to occupy it in a large number of states, the gains for the BJP will be much more than a solitary regional party in one state or the other.
But the gains while the BJP is no doubt gaining, so is the Third Front. Together, the Third Front is also doing fairly well, remarkably well in that.
Well, where is the Third Front? Now, if you jumble up the total of all the others and call it a Third Front, you can as well indulge in fiction writing. Because a very large number of these parties which you call as Third Front are either those who are belligerently anti-Congress, will never align with the Congress, and therefore they have no option but to align with a non-Congress combination. Or there are some like the RJD, the DMK, which are natural sympathizers today of Congress. Now the DMK has moved away for the present, but I don't know how long that will last. Therefore the Third Front is a failed idea. I don't think the Third Front has any chance or hope in hell of coming to power.
So there is the other thing that comes out from the thing is that if the BJP projects a leader, then it's expected to do very well. But the flip side is that if you project a leader, then it becomes a bipolar fight, and the Congress also gains.
Well, let the fight be bipolar. Let there be leaders projected by all combinations. I don't think the regional parties really are big enough to aspire for any prime ministerial candidate. There is hardly a regional party which can get more than 20 odd seats in parliament. And therefore the nucleus of any government has to be one of the two major national parties. It can't be a regional party. The nucleus must be large enough. Otherwise an imbalance in an alliance comes up. And therefore we will ordinarily certainly project a leader, and we have a galaxy of leadership, and I'm sure at the appropriate time we'll come out with the best name out of the lot.
So at an appropriate time, the BJP will come out with the best name, says Mr. Arun Jaitley.
Thank you very much, Javed, for joining us with Mr. Jaitley's thoughts. I want to go across now and get reactions from the Samajwadi Party and the BSP. If we look back at these numbers, the big story, Mr. Kamal Farooqi, from the Samajwadi Party's perspective is you're not doing as well as the assembly elections, because if the assembly election data was to be brought down on the 2009 numbers, you'd actually be doing much better. So you're losing a lot of ground. So it is in the Samajwadi Party's interest to bring elections forward to the extent possible, Mr. Farooq.
Yeah, to some extent you're right, but we have been, our Netaji has been speaking right from the beginning that we are making ourselves ready for the snap poll. And since the Congress is losing every day something or the other, and during the last 4 years, it is being known for the lot of corruption and lot of snack, all those kind of things are there. So they have failed miserably on all counts. As far as UP is concerned, UP will definitely maintain the same spirit as has been done in 2012 assembly election. Why? Because whatever people may say, barring here and there 1 or 2 instances, we have been doing remarkably well, both in the reference to the power sector, the infrastructure, taking care of the healthcare and the women folk and all those kind of things. So we have maintained a kind of close supervision on all the infrastructure development and taking care of the minorities and other backward classes. I personally feel we will do much better than what the people are thinking.
I want to go across to Mr. Chandan Mitra. If you look at the specific numbers for Uttar Pradesh, the BJP picking up only 4 seats, going from 10 to 14. If you're serious about trying to form the next government, that aren't going to happen if you're able to push up the tally only from 10 to 14, Mr. Chandan Mitra. The current scenario in Uttar Pradesh not at all conducive for your party, sir.
Well, this is an opinion poll. And while I take all opinion polls as indicators. I'm not going to rubbish them altogether, but they are only indicative. They are not exact kind of indications of what is going to happen. What the poll clearly shows is that those who had done very well in the last election, particularly the Congress, is going down every day. And therefore, it is very clear that every passing day, the BJP's graph is going to rise. Your poll right now may show BJP gaining only 4 seats. But I have no doubt that by the time comes for the buttons to be pushed on the EVM, the BJP will improve its position substantially. And you're going to have a very significant gain lodged for the BJP when the results actually come. I have absolutely no doubt about that, because there is an anti-Congress, anti-UPA gale that is sweeping across the country. And as Mr. Jaitley correctly pointed out, that the principal non-Congress formation is going to be the main gainer in any non-Congress atmosphere.
I want to go across and also get a response from Sukhendra Bhaduria of the BSP, because the BSP picking up from 21 to 27, that's a gain of only about 6 seats, Mr. Bhaduria. Now, while Mulayam's government and Akhilesh's government is losing ground, Banerjee is not gaining ground in the way that he'd like to. Clearly, this is not a best case scenario for the BSP, Mr. Bhaduria.
Well, as of today, this opinion poll shows that we are getting around 27 seats.
Yes.
But look at the ground realities in Uttar Pradesh. There are dozens of districts where communal riots have taken place. There are other areas where there is a complete failure of law and order in larger areas of Uttar Pradesh. There is also a huge crisis insofar as the power sector is concerned in this today's situation, when the power sector is in a mess. Therefore, our performance of Bahujan Samaj Party will be far much better. Today, you are predicting this opinion poll is 1 year before the actual elections. When the actual elections take place, you will see the C voter had done a similar opinion poll when the assembly elections were there. They were projecting us to get around 27% vote, whereas we got, because of the anti-incumbency, about 26% vote. I am also saying that in this, when 1 year is away for the elections, we will do far more better, and we will also gain in the neighboring areas. Therefore, in days to come, whenever the government has to be formed, the Bahujan Samaj Party under the leadership of Bayan Mayawati will be the most important political formation after the Congress and BJP.
Okay, I want to now shift the needle and move to Maharashtra. We're looking at the 5 big battleground states. We'll go back to these leaders, talk about the big national perspective, but let's just move on from state to state. I want to focus now on the 48 seats in Maharashtra, when 2009 elections, the Congress and the NCP did very well. Now, the C voter poll projects that the Congress will come down from 17 to 12. That's a loss of 5 seats. Uddhav Thackeray's party not gaining as much as they would have liked to, picking up only 3 seats, moving from 11 to 14. That's a gain of only 3. The BJP picking up only 2 seats, 9 to 11. That's a gain of only 2. Sharad Pawar's party losing 2 seats, 8 to 6. So, the Congress and the NCP losing. The Athawale faction, the Republican Party, picking up 2 seats, and also making an entry for the first time is the MNS of Raj Thackeray, which didn't exist in 2009, didn't register. This time expected to pick up 3 seats. So basically the MNS is the new entrant, RPI playing a role. Explain these numbers.
The big story out here is that the Congress, in spite and despite of the big anti-incumbency wave, is not really losing much of a ground. And the simple reason is, Rahul, the gentleman from MNS, because he is still not part of the NDA, not part of the UT as they say it. RPI has become part of the UT, and that is why they are getting restricted.
Let's look at those numbers, the NDA UPA numbers also.
So now, if at all the NDA has to really go for a kill, they have to make sure to get Raj Thackeray into their alliance somehow, because that will have the real multiplier effect. Right now, Raj Thackeray factor, even in the last assembly election, because of Raj Thackeray, BJP Shiv Sena could not form the government, and because of
Uddhav Thackeray will not allow Raj Thackeray to become a part of the NDA, and that's a big problem, because the UPA losing 7 seats, the NDA picking up 7 seats. So that's where
I would say it is just 7.
Okay.
This 7 could go to 17 provided if Raj Thackeray actually joins the NDA. If that happens, then it is possible.
Let's get thoughts from our political panel. I want to go across first to Veer Sangvi, understand from him the numbers that we've seen so far, starting with Maharashtra. Okay, what Yashwant is saying is it is important in Maharashtra for Raj Thackeray to align with the NDA. That's when they start picking up the big numbers.
Absolutely. I think the only reason the Congress is getting the number of seats it is in Maharashtra, where it has provided spectacularly bad governance, is because the opposition is split. If the MNS and the Shiv Sena were to come together and there were to be a proper seat sharing arrangement with the BJP, I think you could be looking at a situation where the Congress came down much further. There is, however, as you pointed out, the problem of the cousins between the two Thackeray's, and perhaps that will prevent an alliance from happening. That certainly is the Congress's best hope. But until now, this has essentially been a government that was run by real estate people. The reason they don't like the current chief minister is because he's anti-real estate, and it's a party divided within itself.
But Chandan Mitra, this is not good news from the BJP's perspective at all. There is so much anti-incumbency in Maharashtra, and the NDA is not being able to capitalize because Raj Thackeray is picking not just votes, he's also being able to translate some of those votes into 3 seats according to Yashwant Deshmukh's projections.
So this is why I believe that your opinion poll has jumped the gun. It is a bit premature. Because, you know, alliances, seat sharing arrangements, which Veer Sangvi was mentioning, they crystallize when the elections are really upon us at the 11th hour. And given the kind of deep divisions between Mr. Uddhav Thackeray and Mr. Raj Thackeray, it will take a lot of effort on the part of well-meaning advisors to get them together. So I have no doubt that we are working in that direction, and eventually things are going to fall in place. But in any case, a BJP Sena RPI alliance is a very powerful alliance, and I have no doubt that eventually Mr. Raj Thackeray, whether from inside or outside, will become part of this larger non-Congress arrangement. In that event, I think that the NDA or NDA along with its allies is set to sweep Maharashtra, leaving, I think, hardly any breathing space for either the Congress or its tottering ally, the Nationalist Congress Party.
Okay, I now want to shift our attention to Andhra Pradesh. And I also want to bring in Mr. N. Ram, who's joining us on this broadcast. But first, let's take a look at the numbers for Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh again is one state where the Congress did spectacularly well in the last Lok Sabha elections, but this time because of the problem in Telangana, because of the departure of Rajshekar Reddy, the Congress not doing well. This was the best state for the Congress. They picked up 33 seats. They're now expected to lose 25 of those seats. The Congress's tally projected to come down to 8. Chandrababu Naidu party, the TDP, picked up 6 seats, likely to gain 4, go up to 10. It is KCR's party, the TRS, which picked up only 2 seats, but riding on a strong Telangana wave, likely to pick up 9 seats, tally projected to go up to 11. Whereas if we look at the AIMMM, which is Owaisi's party, they will hold on to their bastion in Hyderabad. If you look at the BJP, they're likely to pick up 1 seat. Yashwant Deshmukh explained the Andhra Pradesh numbers, especially because this is the big story.
This is the biggest story, the YSR Congress, because the 11 seats that Jagan Mohan Reddy is cracking up, this is where it is coming down to minus 25 for the Congress because of the split of the vote that is causing the rest of the opposition parties to gain. But I must make it clear, Andhra Pradesh is no more behaving like a one single state. It is behaving like 3 different states. In Telangana, it is all way the Telangana sentiment and TRS is virtually sweeping that entire part of the Andhra Pradesh. In Rayalaseema, YSR Congress is doing almost one-way traffic kind of thing. Jagan Mohan Reddy is sweeping Telangana in Rayalaseema. In Andhra, which is going to be a direct fight between the TDP and the YSR, there also the Congress is being relegated to the 3rd place.
And so the reality is, Mr. N. Ram, that if the Congress performs as miserably as the C-voter projections indicate, it will be very, very difficult for them to make up a loss of 25 seats in the other states.
So one fact before you ask this question, I will just mention that the emergence of the TDP in Andhra, it is a kind of a slow and steady thing, because TDP is only party right now within Andhra is kind of leading Andhra region, but in Rayalaseema TDP is number 2, in Telangana TDP is number 2. So basically TDP is emerging more like a pan-Andhra party.
But I can counter argue by saying that the TDP, having been in opposition for so many years, should actually be doing much more. Net their gain is only 4 seats.
They are unable because
of
the
TRS and
because of the BJP,
YSR.
because of the YSR.
I want to bring in Mr. Endra. Your thoughts on the Congress projected to lose 25 seats of the lot that it picked up from Andhra Pradesh?
I think it'll be even worse for the Congress. Andhra Pradesh is going to be a debacle. We knew that. The trends are being very clear, and I think it is irreversible. They will be hoping, of course, to do some kind of deal post-election with Jagan, with the YSR Congress. Who knows?
But also,
it'll be a disaster for the Congress in Andhra Pradesh. Nothing can avert that.
No, the BJP will also be trying to bring Jagan over. Everybody, for example, the BJP has been promising the state of Telangana. They will try and pull KCR over. So this is now going to become a big battle where these parties with 10-11 seats each, everybody will be vying to try and pull them over to their side, Mr. Ram.
Yes, but I think it'll be more difficult for the BJP to get Jagan on their side. Maybe he'll be part of the third force. But certainly it's unlikely that the BJP will be able to rope in Jagan. But the TRS, of course, is very approachable by all sides.
Join the NDA right after the election.
If you give them Telangana, they will join you. KCR has told us this on numerous occasions. You must remember that
in 2009, right after the voting was over, the TRS actually joined the NDA, hoping that NDA would form the government, which was not the case.
I want to bring in GVL Narasimha Rao and get his thoughts on the BJP's tally so far. If you see Uttar Pradesh, if you see also Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, they're a fringe player. The BJP not being able to gain on this so-called anti-incumbency mood against the UPA. In these three big battleground states, the BJP's tally not jumping up much, GVL.
You see, of the 3 states, Andhra Pradesh, BJP has traditionally, Andhra Pradesh has not been a strong state. BJP really hasn't been able to make major inroads in Andhra Pradesh. Although in Telangana there is a lot of promise for the BJP, I think we have still not been able to convert that into ground level electoral support. Talking of Uttar Pradesh, I think to me the most critical state in the next election is going to be the state of Uttar Pradesh, where the real election will be fought. For the BJP to cross over the 200 mark hump, I see that within the realm of possibility, and that is possible only if we hit a big tally in Uttar Pradesh. And my own feedback suggests that that is possible. But I will comment on this later when you present the full scenario and the alternate scenarios in different states.
We'll come to it one by one. Right now, I just want to focus on what we've been able to put out so far. Veer Sanghvi, I want your thoughts on the numbers that we're seeing for Andhra Pradesh. This really, for the Congress party, is bad news. If you lose 25 seats in Andhra Pradesh, you're not going to be able to pick up these many seats anywhere else.
Well, to echo what Chandan Mitra said about doing polls so long before the election, 2 important things I think are likely to happen before the polls. One is, I don't rule out the Congress creating a state of Telangana. If the Congress does create Telangana, then these results are going to be very different. 2, I think we should remember that large sections of the existing Congress MPs are mere passengers. They are waiting to join Jagan. I suspect we will see huge exodus from the Congress to Jagan just before the elections are announced.
Okay, I also want to shift our attention now from Andhra Pradesh to Tamil Nadu. We want to give you a sense of the situation in all the major states. So let's now come to the numbers from Tamil Nadu. We've got Dr. Maitriyan joining us. Tamil Nadu has 39 seats, and in these seats, DMK did very well last time. This time, however, the numbers could be very different. If you look at the figures for Tamil Nadu, the DMK picked up 18 seats in the last election. This time, they are projected to lose 14 of those seats. The DMK tally dropping, plunging from 18 to 4. Whereas the biggest gainer of the Sea Voter National Opinion Poll is Jayalalitha. Her tally rising from 9 to 30. You can see the smile on Dr. Maitriyan's face. The Congress losing terribly from 8 down to 1. That's a loss of 7. We've got Mr. Vaiko's party picking up 1 seat. We've got the DMDK picking up 2 seats. And I want to get a first reaction from Dr. Maitriyan. This would be really very good from Jayalalitha's perspective, because what that would indicate, with 30 seats, you can't form a government in 2014 without having Jaya on your side, Dr. Maitriyan.
we are happy about your projection, but take it from us, the final tally will far exceed what you are projecting. In fact, our target is 40 out of 40. Our campaign slogan is Nalai Namade, Narpadu Namade. Tomorrow is ours, 40 is ours. So we expect to do exceedingly well. We will cross more than 35, we will reach up to 40.
Yashwant Deshmukh, explain the Tamil Nadu numbers for our viewers. Break them down.
Tamil Nadu is very clear. You know, even people say Tamil Nadu swings from one way to other. It didn't happen in the last two elections. Jayalalitha, even while she lost the penultimate election, maintained a very good position in Tamil Nadu Assembly, and she thumbed home again in the last Assembly election. And this is one-way ticket for Jayalalitha. If you have to figure out one kingmaker, Rahul, which would be that person who would be kingmaker in 2014, the answer is from this Queen of Poets Garden. This lady is going to be the kingmaker, and something tells me this is where Narendra Modi was very smart when he started looking out for the right kind of allies. The first lady which he actually tried to woo was Jayalalitha. So I think Jayalalitha is going to call the shots. Rest of the DMK and its front is going to be decimated.
The gains for the BJP and the loss for the Congress can be debated, but if you look at these numbers, you know, Poets Garden would be very happy tonight with these projections. With 32 seats, you can't form the next government without having Jayalalitha on your side. Sandeep.
Actually, it figures, because if you see what has happened over the last 4-5 years in Tamil Nadu, then it's very clear that this lady is going to triumph, and she will triumph in a big way. If you now add West Bengal to AIADMK, if you add the two ladies, Mamata Banerjee,
in fact, it would be three ladies.
Okay, don't give it away. Don't give it away. Hold your horses.
If you
We're coming to it in a moment.
Together, then you'll have a substantive bloc emerging in Indian politics.
I want to go across to Mr. N. Ram. You know, he's based in Chennai, tracked the Tamil Nadu political scene very, very closely. The Congress coming down to only one seat. The DMK losing from 18 to 4. That's a big drop as well. What do you make of the projections for Tamil Nadu, Mr. Ram?
What are the alignments that you have assumed for the poll? What are the alignments?
Yashwant,
the alignments are the
what are the alliances?
The alignments, Mr. Ram, is the same one which continued in the last assembly elections.
Yes, then this is consistent with the trends, and it's entirely possible.
And I would like to just say one thing. The one seat of the Congress is certainly not the seat which was most contested and debated in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, so that basically means
I'm not saying more than that.
A tough time. I want to go across and also bring in Chandan Mitra at this time, because if the BJP needs to aggressively woo one person to be able to form the next government, it's very clear from this poll that no matter what happens, unless Jayalalitha comes over to the BJP side, the NDA aren't going anywhere. Chandan Mitra.
Well, the first thing that really satisfies me about this poll is that so far, whatever the states that you have covered, the Congress is going down and down and down. And in Tamil Nadu, it is, according to your poll, is down to 1. I think Dr. Maitreyan has put the nail on the head when he has said that everybody else will be 0. Whether everybody else is 0, I can't say, but Congress will definitely be a 0 in what was once upon a time its bastion, and which, if it happens, is that the seat I think Yashwant was referring to, that seat is also gone. So, that puts paid to the prime ministerial ambitions of at least one more person in this government.
Mr. N. Ram, is there a possibility that the Congress could tie up with Jayalalitha, try and woo her? Earlier, she in fact offered before the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections for a tie-up with the UPA. She wanted them to dump the DMK. The Congress didn't do it at that time. Do you think that's a possibility at all?
No, I would rule out that possibility, because all the positions taken by Chief Minister Jayalalitha run counter to this, and I don't think at this stage there's any chance of them get together. Moreover, that would mean the AIADMK would be aligning with a guaranteed loser, so there's no question of it.
Okay, Dr. Maitreyan, what would be...
I wish to point out that there's one change, that Vijay has moved away from the AIADMK alliance, and we don't know what kind of effect that will have. Have you factored it into your poll?
Yes, we have factored that in our poll, because right after the last assembly election, He preferred to take the main opposition party status over there. So we have to factor that in our poll.
You know, I also want to understand from Dr. Maitreyan what would be Jayalalitha's terms and conditions. Is she willing to partner with the BJP, Dr. Maitreyan, or would you like to hold out to the biggest bidder? How would Jayalalitha be playing a card if she ends up with 32 seats as the voters projecting tonight?
Well, see, Madam has gone on record several times that AIDMK will not align either with Congress or with BJP in the run to the Lok Sabha polls. And as your results show very clearly, Congress is losing heavily, BJP is not gaining. So let us wait for the total results. I think what I visualize is probably a non-Congress, non-BJP alternative emerging. And Madam will take ultimately the ultimate call when the final results are
Okay,
out.
I also want to continue chatting with you as we put out the national big projections, the national big picture. But currently I want to move on to the other woman that Sandeep Bamzai spoke about. So let's move to the east of the country and look at West Bengal. That's the other state where a crucial contest is being fought. And another woman you cannot ignore is Mamata Banerjee. Her tally, though, moving only from 19 to 23, that's a gain of only 4 seats in comparison with 2009. Remember, by 2009, a lot of anti-incumbency had already set in against the left. The CPM was at 15. They expected to continue to remain at 15. The Congress, which picked up 6 seats, losing here as well. So there is an all-India trend away from the Congress party, coming down to 3. You're seeing, as far as the BJP is concerned, picking up only 1 seat. And then if you look at
No, it's the down one. BJP
they
had the last
they had one seat,
Yeah.
they're losing 1 seat. So why don't you explain this
One
to our
important
viewers?
thing to understand is that in 2009 round, these figures were together. Basically, Congress and the TMC contested together. In our assumption right now, we have taken them separately. And that is a plus point for Mamata, that even after dumping the Congress, she is not only maintaining, she is taking her tally up. So this is a positive mandate for Mamata Banerjee, while left is holding on to what he had, more or less. But positive mandate for Mamata Banerjee, that's a big story, because plenty of the things that have been happening in the last few weeks, people were expecting that Mamata would do really bad in West Bengal. I'm sorry, it is not happening that way. Mamata is holding on to her ground, and it seems that her personal image is very much intact and clean, and people are still loving her.
Given the fact that there's an all-India trend against the Congress, I want to go across to Sandeep and to Tehseen Poonawala. Is that one of the reasons why the Congress decided to boycott all opinion polls, Tehseen? The fact that all across the country the party is being decimated in each of the states where they used to be in a strong position earlier?
Look, this is nothing but an opinion poll based on a survey of 10-20,000 people in a country of 1.2 billion people. Remember the opinion polls of 2004, nobody gave us a chance. We stormed to power. 2009, nobody gave us 206 seats. As recently as Karnataka, nobody expected us. They were still saying it's a close race. And we came to power. Opinion polls are just that, opinions of people in studios. The fact is, elections are won on the ground. And it's amazing, I heard Mr. Chandanitra speak, and the BJP is happy from the fact that the Congress is losing. They live in fantasy land, India shining fantasy land. They're not happy with the fact that they are not gaining. I mean, they need to inspect. Yes, there would be anti-incumbency, two governments, but I don't believe these results. In Uttar Pradesh, let me contradict you, we were the only party that gained apart from the Samajwadi Party. We gained in vote share. I don't think we lose that many seats. West Bengal, if there was no anti-incumbency against Mamata Banerjee already set in, why would she postpone her panchayat elections? She fought with the election commission, a very public spat. So these are based on intellectual surveys. Fact is, elections.
That's not true. These are based on ground reports and assessment, but you've got something to say, and that's a fair argument to draw. Sandeep Bamzai wants to come.
Actually, I had a question for Yashwant. The 23 that you're projecting for Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, is this post the two Sudiptas or is this before?
It happened during the period.
When
we were conducting
you're in effect saying that despite the two Sudiptas,
in spite of that, yes.
23
No, but it can be counter-argued, Sandeep, that as the effect of the Shudipto sense sets in, it could get a lot tougher.
My sense is that I don't think she's going to get 23 seats.
Okay, let me bring in Professor Sugata Roy from Mamata Banerjee's party. He's joining us on this broadcast. The C voter projections say that the TMC likely to increase its tally from 19 to 23. The left front static at 15. The Congress losing about 3 seats. What do you make of these projections, Professor Sugata Roy?
No, I think it's not an unfair assessment, but my assessment is that TMC will get more seats. our tally would be close to 30. The left has no ground to stand on at the moment.
But the reality
Their
also
leaders
is that as
have
more
all
of these
gone.
chit fund scams break out, as more and more time is spent by the people of West Bengal assessing the performance of the Mamata Banerjee government, they realize that she's not living up to all the promises she made. So the more time she spends in government, the more the anti-incumbency against her builds up, Professor.
I do not think so. I think that the way Mamata has tackled this chit fund problem by arresting Sudipto Sen, by setting up a judicial inquiry commission, by setting up a 500 crore fund for rehabilitation of the investors, and especially by passing that law which gives the government power to confiscate the assets of these chit fund owners, she had earned the admiration and appreciation of the people.
Okay, tell me, if the TMC ends up with 23 seats, what is Mamata Banerjee likely to do, Professor Roy? Would she hold out for a third front, or would she be willing to join a BJP-led NDA dispensation?
That is a point on which no decision has been taken. Only we would like a stable government to be formed at the center. But the problem with BJP is that the minorities still do not accept BJP, and we have got a 27% minority Muslim population in the state which are backing the TMC totally. So whenever
are you
we
saying
take
that
a
tying up
decision,
with the BJP is completely ruled out? Professor Roy, is that what you're saying, that tying up with the BJP is completely ruled out?
I'm not saying anything is ruled out. I'm saying that TMC is keeping all its options open.
Chandan Mitra, therein lies hope for the BJP. Therein lies hope. Nothing is ruled out. Are you? He's saying two things simultaneously: the Muslim population of West Bengal, which is substantial, and the fact that nothing is ruled out. Are you hoping that Mamata Banerjee will join the NDA in future?
Well, Rahul, we hope.
I am not sure. I do not think so. I do not think that Mamata Banerjee will join NDA in future. We had been with the NDA in the past, and
suffered because
it was not very profitable.
Okay,
Emotionally also it was not profitable.
Okay, Chandan Mitra, let's hear from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What I was saying is that we are hopeful that all those who have been once part of the NDA of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, 24 parties, see, they all have seen the results of leaving the NDA at some point or the other. The way the Congress has treated them, the way the Congress has treated their states. And I have no doubt that on a larger non-Congress, anti-Congress platform, minus the left, they will all, in some way or the other, be part of the larger non-Congress alliance, which necessarily has to be led by the BJP.
Sangvi, do you share that assessment? That she has no option but to ultimately come around to the BJP, even if at this time Mamata Banerjee says she won't join the NDA?
Well, Shogato is an old congressman. He's been part of the Congress S, he's been part of the Congress I, he's been part of... So joining the BJP is something Shogato would never countenance. Mamata Banerjee, however, is not Shogato. She's an essentially irresponsible person and a person you can't predict. So nobody has any clue as to what she's going to do. But what Shogato said at an intellectual level makes sense. There's a 27% Muslim population who moved away from left, who voted for Trinamool Congress. Why would she want to alienate them?
Okay, I want to also now shift our attention and focus on Bihar. So Yashwant, you can just come with me. Let's focus and we'll quickly move the needle forward and start focusing. 20 seats, the BJP picked up 12, the RJD picked up 4. Let's take a look at what the new projections are. The JDU from 20 likely to come down 1 seat to about 9. The BJP, which picked up 12 seats, likely to lose 1, come down to 11. The RJD of Lalu Prasad Yadav picking up from 4, that tally going up to 7. Paswan's party picking up 1 seat. Congress had only 2 seats, likely to lose one of those. Explain the numbers for Bihar.
The numbers are very clear. It's more or less the same, just a seat here and there. I mean, the loss for the JDU and the BJP combined. The combined at the moment is holding the ground just where it was for 4 years back. Lalu Yadav having a very marginal increase, I would say, and that is generally more because of the anti-incumbency against the sitting member of parliament rather than against the NDA government in Bihar. So Bihar is more or less the same. But yes, when we talk about the permutation and combination later on this program, we would like to see what happens if JDU and BJP
We'll
go
come
on
to
their
that
own
separately,
way.
but Mr. Enram, what is crucial, if Lalu Yadav has to do well in the next elections, he has to get Congress and he has to get Paswan on his side. That's the only way he can actually get all the opposition vote together in Bihar. If they all fight separately, it's death in the elections as far as Lalu and the Congress are concerned, Mr. Ram.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be, the gap will narrow, and I think that combination will gain, obviously. How many, you have to tell me. But it's quite possible, isn't it? It makes sense for them to get together.
GVL Narasimha Rao, what these figures also indicate is the importance of the BJP and JDU fighting together. If the BJP and the JDU, GVL were to fight separately, this tally could change. The reason that the JDU is picking up 19 and the BJP picking up 11 is because the vote is for the NDA together. This could change. That really indicates the importance of BJP plus JDU fighting together, GVL.
I hold a different view because I have also been doing surveys in different states, including Bihar. And you see, the dynamics of state elections and dynamics of parliamentary elections are somewhat different. I think when it comes to the parliamentary elections, it is the BJP which is heading the alliance, and NDA is in public perception itself, it's a junior partner. But only when the state elections are concerned, JDU has a slightly bigger role. So I don't think the BJP would suffer at all. In fact, I have my own surveys to show that BJP, if they were to fight alone, they might actually win many more seats.
We're actually looking at that separately. We're looking at that separately. In about 45 minutes, I come to that. I now want to go across to Karnataka. We've got the figures for Karnataka. Rajiv Gowda is joining us. He represents the Congress party in Karnataka. It is in Karnataka that the BJP under Yediyurappa did very well in the last elections. They picked up 19 seats. They are now projected to lose 12 of those seats. The tally likely to come down to 7. Congress, which picked up only 6 seats on the back of what happened in the assembly elections, likely to increase its tally by 12. The tally total number going up to about 18. The JDS picked up 3 seats in the last elections. They're still likely to be at 3. I want to understand from Mr. Rajiv Gowda, this is the first piece of good news. This is the only state so far, Mr. Gowda, where the Congress has done well in these projections. Nationally, it's looking to be very, very dismal for the Congress party.
Rahul, I do think that Karnataka is a trendsetter, that we're going to actually see Karnataka's results and Karnataka, the Congress government's performance here, signaling what the Congress can deliver. And so I do expect that this opinion poll is premature, that you will see numbers starting to swing in favor of the Congress going forward. Anyway, as far as Karnataka is concerned, the other day I was in your building, and with Business Today, I basically told them that the way the numbers are right now, the Congress has a chance to sweep the entire state. If you just look at the assembly poll numbers, the BJP is actually wiped out. So this would indicate that Yediyurappa is coming back to the BJP or something like that. But frankly, the Congress is actually on a very, very good wicket. And from 6 or 7, actually, we won the by-election, where the former Chief Minister, Sananth Gowda, had vacated his seat. We won that. And essentially, I actually predict a sweep for the Congress in the entire state, barring this JDS 2-3 seats where they continue to retain as their fourth.
Okay, that's in the old Mysore area of Karnataka. We've got about 15 minutes to go before we start projecting nationally, and as I said at the beginning of this program, the most crucial thing you should be looking at, and this is the only opinion poll that is actually tracking that aspect separately, is what happens if Modi were to be projected. Would voters change their preferences? We'll be putting out those numbers, the first psephological assessment of whether Modi can swing the 2014 elections or not. But before that, let's quickly go through some of the other states which are crucial, which are still left. I want to now come to Kerala, where the Congress picked up 13 seats in the last elections. They're now projected to lose most of those seats. The tally likely to come down to 5. The left front making a comeback of sorts. Its tally likely to go up from 4 to 12. The IUML at the 2 seats that they hold currently, even the Kerala Congress money picking up the 1 seat that they have. Yashwant, Deshmukh, in 30 seconds, take us through the Kerala numbers.
It's very clear that in Kerala, the ding-dong of the fortunes is continuing and left is gaining again. So there is enough anti-incumbency against the Congress government. And remind you, Rahul, the last assembly election with the left front loss was not really a kind of a big loss. You know, they gave a really good fight. They contested on Achyutanandan's good clean image. And Congress, the fact is that they are leading a minority government over there at this point of time. So this is bouncing back of left front, and due to Kerala, left front is still trying to get on to some respectable figure and be a kingmaker in the center.
Okay, so let's now move on from Kerala to Madhya Pradesh. And Madhya Pradesh's numbers are important because there's a big assembly election towards the end of the year in Madhya Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh, the BJP had picked up 16 seats, which is very substantial because the total number of seats is only 29. That tally likely to go up by 3 seats. So if Shivraj Chauhan is watching this broadcast, even though assembly elections and national elections are fought on different grounds, the reality is there is no strong anti-incumbency against Shivraj Chauhan's government in Madhya Pradesh. The Congress picked up 12 seats, likely to lose 3 of those, tally projected to come down to 9, whereas the BSP is likely to pick up 1 seat. Explain Madhya Pradesh, Yashwant.
Explaining Madhya Pradesh is like a very clear, clean way for Shivraj Singh Chauhan. No incumbency as such. Very much.
Will this hold in the assembly elections also?
Very much. I think if this trend continues, then
it can be argued that people vote differently in the state elections and in the central elections.
It may be to a certain lower level. I understand that Congress is going to get much better contest in assembly election rather than in the Lok Sabha election. But as far as the Lok Sabha figures are concerned, remind you, Vaishali is the seat where Sushma Swaraj is contesting. So that's one prime ministerial candidate for Madhya Pradesh to throw on. And Madhya Pradesh by and large is holding out to be a good ground for the BJP. And if at all Narendra Modi is projected, when we look at those figures, these numbers might even go up, if not come down.
Okay, let's now come to Gujarat. This is Modi's own bastion. He picked up 15 seats out of the 26 in the last elections. That tally likely to go up. The Congress picked up 11 seats. Their tally projected to come down to 6. That's a loss of about 5 seats. The BJP, which picked up 15 seats, their tally projected to go up to 20 seats. That's a gain of 5 seats. Explain Gujarat.
And this is purely Modi. This is purely Modi because
they want to see him as Prime Minister.
They want to see him as the Prime Minister. And these 6 seats, Rahul, are not, I won't say they are the Congress seat. They are more like a personal stronghold, various Congress strong people. So
and Modi's been poaching some of them like Badadia.
Yeah, you can mention it
viewers
correctly.
Who watch don't like gun-toting MP who's brandishing his gun at a toll plaza, but on the ground where he comes from in Porbandar, he wins, and that's what's helping the BJP up its tally in Gujarat. Let's come to Rajasthan. The Congress did exceedingly well in Rajasthan. Out of the 25 seats, they picked up 20 seats. This time they're likely to come down to 8. The BJP, which picked up 4 seats, is likely to go up to 17. That's a gain of 13 seats. The Congress, this would be a big loss. Two big losses.
After Andhra Pradesh,
yes. And now Rajasthan.
The Andhra and Rajasthan are the 2 states which actually were the main ingredients of the UPA 1 and UPA 2. And this time the biggest losses are coming. And this doesn't hold well because the Rajasthan assembly elections are coming as well. And Rajasthan is not those kind of states which give split verdict. More or less,
that shows Vasundhara Raje will see a big jump in the BJP.
Vasundhara should take lead from these numbers. I think she would be a happy person too.
Okay, let's now move on to Delhi. In Delhi, the BJP did very badly in the last elections. The Congress picked up all the 7 seats. This time, it is going to change substantially according to the C voter projection. No wonder the Congress decided to boycott this poll. From 7 seats, their tally likely to go down to 1. That's a loss of 6. The BJP picking up 6 seats. What happens then to the Kejriwal factor? Are you saying that Kejriwal is no factor?
It is a factor, and it will be a factor in the assembly elections big time. I would say not in terms of winning the seat, but making sure that the opposition votes are fragmented and making sure that Congress is much more comfortable on the ground than it happens to be actually. But in Lok Sabha elections, the margins in Delhi are so huge at the moment. The anti-incumbency against the UPA government, mind you, not that much of anti-incumbency.
So which is the one seat you're thinking the Congress will win? Sajjan Kumar's brother's seat.
Well, I would say the sun is rising in the east, so I would stick with that.
Okay, you think Sandeep Dixit is likely to win his seat. Let's now come to Haryana. Also about Delhi, it is said whoever wins in Delhi usually is able to form the next government. Let's come to Haryana. Again, another state where the Congress did very well. They picked up 9 out of the 10 seats. This time, slated lose 4 of the seats, tally coming down to 5. The BJP, though, not doing that well. They picked up nothing last time, picking up only 2 seats. The INLD picked up 0 seats, they're likely to pick up 3. Whereas the Haryana Janhit Congress, which picked up 1 seat, this time likely to lose those seats. Can you explain these numbers?
And I would like to explain this, that the numbers which you are looking on the screen is keeping in mind that INLD and the BJP are not the alliance partners at the moment. The actual alliance partner which is on the moment is the Haryana Lok Shakti Party, Haryana Jan Shakti Party and the BJP. But if these two fight together, then we are looking at a different number probably. But right now, it is 3 seats for the INLD and 2 seats for the BJP.
So that's another takeaway for Chandan Mitra. You need to get the INLD and the BJP to fight together. Otherwise, in Haryana, your tally is not really jumping up. Okay, let's move on now to Punjab. In Punjab, the Congress had last time picked up 8 seats. The Shiromani Akali Dal had picked up 4 seats. The BJP had picked up 1 seat. Let's take a look at what might happen if elections were held now. The Congress's tally coming down from 8 to 5. The Akali tally going up from 4 to 6, the BJP tally jumping up from 1 to 2. Explain the Punjab numbers.
The big gain in Punjab is for the Akalis, not really for the BJPs. I mean, that it's the other way around. I mean, I know many BJP people would not like to listen to this way, but the fact remains that after the last assembly election, the consolidation of the Akalis is much better, even though the BJP is still performing very well in the urban areas. The chances are that the BJP will win the urban to these 2 seats with a higher margin than they had won before.
Okay, so these are the figures for Punjab. The UPA coming down from 8 to 3. The NDA jumping up from 5 to 8. That's a gain of 3 seats.
So basically it's a reversal of 8 to 5 and 5 to 8.
Yeah. The last state that I'll be looking at is Orissa. Before we shift our attention to the big national projections, in the state of Orissa, the BJD continuing to hold on to its crown. They had 14 seats in the last election. In this election as well, Naveen Patnaik's party hanging on to those 14 seats. The Congress not being able to increase its tally. Why is that, Yashwant?
It's just that in few seats where the BJP was supposed to do in urban areas as well. Remember that DJP and BJP contested in 2004 together. In 2009, they parted ways. So Naveen Patnaik holding on to his seats. BJP is just making inroads with 1 odd seat in Orissa. But the big picture is, as far as Orissa is concerned, what happens if Modi jumps into the fray? This is one of those odd states where if Modi comes into the fray, then probably Congress numbers might go up because of the split of the opposition votes. But if they join hands together, it will be a complete sweep, just like in 2004 and 1999.
So we've been able to take our viewers through the big battleground states and the other states which will be crucial to decide who forms the next government. See voter projections. We've broken down each of the battleground states, and now we want to put out the figures for what the next Lok Sabha will look like. So let's just bring it out right now. We're projecting what the next Lok Sabha might look like. This is the Sea Water national projection. The UPA tally, which stood at 227 in the last elections. The NDA stood at 152. The third front, or whatever is left, all the other parties taken together, whether or not they come together, the third front stood at 164. Let's see what might happen in 2013. The UPA's tally likely to crash by 95 seats, coming down to 132. The NDA's tally jumping from 152 to 179, very far away from being able to form the next government. The third front, from 164 to 232, they are, Yashwant Deshmukh, the biggest gainers. Absolutely. If things were to remain the way they are, if elections were to be held.
And I prefer to use the term as the alternative front, the Vakalpik Morcha, rather than the third front, simply because, you know, there is no pre-poll alliance, there is no leader to project them. But what we are looking at is essentially a series of 28 assembly elections kind of thing, rather than one big parliamentary elections. All these regional Kshatriyas, all these regional grand masters of their own territory are making sure that they eat up all the anti-UPA vote.
I want to take a look at the vote share, because this is very, very important to actually see how the votes are moving. Let's take a look at the UPA. Mrs. Gandhi's alliance picked up 24% of the vote share last time.
13% swing.
So it's a fall of 13%, whereas the NDA going up from 25 to 31, that's a gain of about 6%. However, the biggest gainers are everybody else, the motley group called the Third Front. Their vote percentage going up to 45%, that's a gain of 7%.
So the split of the minus 13 here.
So UPA from 37 coming down to 24.
And this 13% downswing of the UPA is actually resulting between the NDA and the rest of the alternatives together, regional alternatives together. And 6 and 7 split clearly shows that this group is getting benefited more out of that anti-incumbency sentiment rather than the NDA.
This is bad news from the BJP's perspective. I want to bring in Rajiv Pratap Rudy from the BJP. He's joining us. If elections were to be held now, there is strong anti-incumbency against the Congress, Mr. Rudy. But a lot of those gains in the current scenario actually going to the third front, the alternative, rather than the BJP. What do you make of the national big picture that C voters projecting tonight?
Well, the mood of the nation and what is obvious today is that the Congress is not in a favored mood by the people these days, and it's for very obvious reasons. But when you say that analysis does reveal that it's not the BJP or the NDA which is the gainer, it is the third front, there I have some reservations, because you see, whenever the communist parties have done well, that is the time they have become pivotal for a third front. Now, with the absolute decimation of the Communist Party as we see today, there is hardly any probability of the third front formulation. And at the end of the day, BJP and NDA would emerge as the largest political party, as you also have mentioned. And I don't think there is a possibility of any third front emerging as of now.
Okay, I now want to break down the UPA and the
fact,
NDA. Let's break it down, Yashwant, one by one. Let's break it down into individual parties. Let's start with the UPA. The Congress is set to lose 90 seats, coming down to about 116 from the 206
huge loss.
seats.
It's a big loss, and the loss is attributed to big three states. That is the Andhra Pradesh, that is the biggest one, then Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. These three states are actually cumulatively making up these 90 states.
The NCP losing 3 seats from 6 to 3. The Rashtriya Lokdal from 4 coming down to 3.
Just losing 1 seat. IUML is retaining the 2, and AIMIM and National Conference is just losing 1 seat out there. So if you look at the bigger picture, you will see that the UPA allies, the current UPA allies, they are not losing that big. The biggest loss is coming from the Congress. This is out of the 95. 90 is actually the number which the Congress is losing. 5 is what the rest of the UPA allies are losing.
So it's basically the Congress which is on a downward spiral. I want Veer Sanghvi to give us his takeaway on the Congress falling from 206 to 116.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, Rahul. I think the only conclusion you can draw is that voters, at least at this stage, are completely ready to reject the Congress. It's due to many factors, most of which I think partly corruption, but most of it simply bad governance. There was a sense that you had a reformer prime minister, a clean prime minister who would continue to rule us. What you've had is corruption scandals. You've had zero reforms. You've had a government of old men that has sleepwalked through its term. You have young leaders who've been held back from taking their rightful place. This is a young country. This is an impatient country, and really isn't going to wait much longer.
Okay, I want to now take our viewers through the breakup for the NDA. The NDA likely to go up to 179 seats. That's a gain of 27 from the last elections. The BJP, though, not gaining very much currently, picking up only 21 extra seats. The JDU
more
from
or less
20 coming down to 19.
The allies are more or less the same. You see, the big story out here is that the NDA allies are sticking to their numbers or maybe marginally increasing it, but BJP largely is unable to benefit from the fall of the Congress. Congress down by 90 and BJP is up by hardly 20. Now, that is where BJP
I must ask Rajiv Pratap Rudy that question. The Congress losing 90 seats, the BJP picking up only 22 of those seats. What do you make of this, Mr. Rudy?
Well, this is one fact which is very obvious here is that Congress is going down, and the popularity of the Congress government headed by Manmohan Singh, the leadership of Sonia Gandhi, stands eroded. And that is obvious. When you talk about the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's a challenge for it. And we understand that your figures may be something there. But we have to put our act together to see that we become the option. The choice for the Bharatiya Janata Party is to choose between staying, just gaining out of the numbers which the Congress is losing, or become a completely
pivotal for the next elections, and that is what the party is planning now, that in the next 6 to 8 months, that we become the center point of all this, of all these votes which are
but it's
possibly moving out from the Congress
It's a big loss
party.
of face for the BJP that despite so much anti-incumbency building up, you still haven't been able to get there. You are saying you'll do it over the next 6 odd months, but this should have happened if the BJP thinks they are the natural alternative to the Congress party. The figures don't seem to indicate that. So far, the BJP picking up much less than some of the other third front parties, sir.
Well, as I said, that at the end of the day, the third fronts would not exist. If you go back in history and see, the third front was pivoted when the left parties were strong. Now, in the absence of the left parties, at the end of the day, there wouldn't be much choice left. And we have states like Uttar Pradesh, which we have to position ourselves. There are states in which we did not do very well in the last elections. So I think what you say is correct, but this is not the end of that.
Okay.
That the vote which is moving out from the Congress party may not essentially reflect. It could change over the times. And
okay, you're saying it could change, but you admit that currently the BJP has problems it needs to deal with. As I said at the beginning of the show, in just a while from now, we'll also put out the figures when we asked respondents if their voting preference would change if the BJP were to project Narendra Modi. The responses are very, very interesting, and it doesn't just favor the BJP, it also changes the equation nationally. We'll put out those numbers, but before that I want to take a look at the third front numbers. Kalikesh Singh Deo is joining us from Bhubaneswar. The Samajwadi Party from 23 picking up 6 seats, their tally likely to go up to 29. The left front from 24 going up to 30, a gain of 6 seats for the left front. As far as the BJD is concerned, they picked up 14 seats. They're sticking to 14, will be an important factor in the formation of the next government with their 14 seats. Chandrababu Naidu's party from 6 to 10, a gain of 4 seats. This is the third front. The Rashtriya Janata Dal from 7, again, no, 2 7, that's a gain of 3. From 4 to 7 is Lalu Yadav's party. When it comes to the INLD, from 0 to 3 from Prakash Chautala, despite all the charges that have been leveled against them. The DMK, one of the biggest losers, from 18 down to 4, a loss of 14 seats for the DMK. After the DMK, let's look at Praful Kumar Mohantas Asham Gana Parishad, picking up 2 seats, a gain of 1 seat. Let's look at Devegowda and Kumaraswamy. They're likely to stay at 3. They had 3 seats in the last elections. Let's also look at the Jharkhand Vikas Morcha of Babulal Marandi picking up 5 seats.
This is interesting trend. This is interesting trend because Jharkhand Assembly is due to be dissolved and we are going to see elections within 6 months. And if these trends hold true, then we are going to see Babulal Marandi becoming the first genuine BJP leader who left the BJP and really made it in the state.
So he'll do what Yedurappa and Keshubai couldn't. Yeah. This though is the biggest story. 30 seats for the AIA-DMK, that's a gain of 21 seats. AIA-DMK will be the fulcrum, the pivot for the formation of the next government. These are the figures so far. I want to bring in Kalikesh Singh Deo, Mamata Banerjee from 19 to 23, a gain of 4 seats. I want to bring in Kalikesh Singh Deo as we look at the numbers.
These 3 ladies, actually that's where we started. Maya, Jaya and Mamta, the 3 ladies together will be holding a bloc which is going to be substantial, and let's face the fact, it's these 3 ladies who are going to decide who is going to rule in Delhi in 2014.
But Kalikesh Singh Deo, do you think that the third front will be able to hold these different parties? Will they be able to come together? Rajiv Pratap Rudy says it's a figment of imagination, it doesn't exist, these people can't work together.
I think Rajiv should know that the third front has had 2 governments in the past, and before that even the Janata Party government was a cohesion of different parties which came into place. Now, I'm not surprised by these results of your poll at all, Rahul. The fact is that both the BJP and the Congress had failed to address the leadership crisis which exists in the centre, as a result of which people have lost faith in both national parties and have growing confidence in the regional parties. And I am confident that given the fact that it's a federal system, the cohesion of these parties will work together for the betterment of the country.
Okay, give me a moment. I now want to introduce a new innovation to our viewers. This is the Insta trackpad. This is actually very interesting. We've been working on it, and I'm going to get all our experts to come here one by one, because 272 is what you need. The very scary thing from national perspective at this time is, according to the projections being done by C-Voter, even if you add the BJP and the Congress's tally,
it is
they
not adding to
together,
270.
they don't come up to
272.
270. They're at 260.
So it will be
Even
much
the
less than
BJP
that,
and the
basically.
Congress together cannot get to 272. That's the reality. So how will the next government possibly get formed? I'm going to get Veer Sanghvi and Yashwant Deshmukh to take our viewers through that. But before that, let me get some responses from our guests. I want to go across first to N. Ram. He's joining us on this broadcast. What do you think, Mr. Ram, of the national tally which is being projected by C-Voter? What do you make of the current numbers, which clearly seem to indicate that it will be very, very difficult to be able to form the next government? Why don't you, Yashwant, try and take our viewers through how you believe the next government can be formed? Let's try and do this.
Well, couple of things are very clear. The third front, I agree with majority of my experts over here in the panelists. There is nothing called third front at the moment. There is no cohesiveness. There is no.
Let's go through the numbers.
But the thing is that these are all parties which are alternative to the Congress and the BJP in various states. So one thing is very clear: Congress and BJP, the two biggest parties coming together, even they cannot form the government as on today. Now let's try and pull up what happens if these kingmakers come together. Let's put up Jayalalitha out here. Trinamool Congress, let's put BJP out first. Let's put BJP and Congress out of the equation first. Let's put Trinamool Congress, Jayalalitha, and the third lady from Uttar Pradesh, Mayawati, will put in, these three ladies together, they are putting up a block of 81 odd seats. Now the conventional wisdom says that Samajwadi Party and the BSP cannot be together. So at any point of time, we have to take only one of these in the government or outside the government. So the numbers 29 and 28 remain almost identical. It doesn't matter which one is in and which one is out. So let's put up the rest of the people. Let's take the BJP in.
Let's get the JDU in as well.
TDP.
Let's get TDP in over there. And then we can get the YSR, because he's talking about the third front as well.
And let's take YSRC and the TRS. Remember that the Telangana Rashtra Samiti is happy to go with anyone who is promising to make Telangana a reality.
Let's take the JVM in as well.
JVM in as well. That takes the tally to 147. Let's put in Lalu Yadav out there, up here, inside that. Now, the critical component of the third front is the left party. Let's put that in here. 30 seats, big time. Now, who is remaining out here? JDS, of course, is one of those big third front advantage gainers. Remember, Deve Gowda was the Prime Minister.
Even if you add all of this up, it's only coming to 192.
Now, who is remaining there is basically DMK. Remember, ADMK and DMK cannot go together. Akalis, which are very much part of the
NCP can join the third front.
NCP can join the third front.
Let's take Sharad Pawar's party in.
Yeah, out there. RLD can very well join, but the thing is that Rashtriya Lok Dal and Ajit, it is very much in there. Shiv Sena is part firmly in the NDA.
But we can take the INLD.
We can take INLD in
INLD
there.
will be happy to come to the third front.
This takes your tally to 205 odd seats. Now, the thing is that these 205, along with any of these, can form the government.
Okay, let's take a look at that as well. So if the BJP comes together with this third front, they're able to form the government with inside or outside support of the BJP. Let's just try and bring it in. They go up to 342. Let's remove the BJP. Let's bring the Congress into this basket. If you bring the Congress into the basket, 321.
But the thing is that these two parties have to be outside this coalition somewhere, giving an outside support, because these parties coming together to give support to the BJP or the Congress is far from reality. Majority of these people are basically being on the anti-Congress platform.
This is from a growth and economic development perspective, the worst nightmare come true if you have this sort of a jumbled government. I want to bring Veer Sanghvi. Let me reset this matrix. Let me bring Veer Sanghvi and get him to explain to our viewers his sense of how the next government could be formed. Welcome, Veer. Why don't you explain to us? Yashwant, if you just go sit for a moment, I want Veer Sanghvi to explain. Just play with this. This is the drawing board. Let's see how you can form a government.
We'll see. Let's look at what Rudy said. He said, I think accurately, that every time there's been a left-front government, it's been anchored by the left. Every time there's been a third-front government, it's been anchored by the left.
So let's bring the left in.
But it's not going to happen this time, I don't think.
You don't want the left.
I don't think with 30 you can anchor a government.
Okay.
So let's look at what is one possible solution, the Congress, the INC. And let's look at the INC.
You want to bring the Congress
Bring
in?
the Congress.
Okay.
Bring the SP.
You want to bring the Congress in. You want to bring
the SP
in.
Bring the TMC.
You want to bring the TMC in.
Now bring the left.
Now bring the left. No. How will the left and the TMC be together?
Problem. You're right. Okay. So let's leave that out. Even then you have a problem, right? With
168. They need 272. They're very far. You need to get more parties into the matrix.
NCP is the obvious one that doesn't help much. You know? RAD and NCP is the obvious
but they're not going to take you very far. But
doesn't help. Doesn't help, no?
Yes, Sandeep, help. Form the
yeah, Sandeep, one. The TRS.
You want to bring the TRS in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
the TRS.
KCR. What about Jagan? You think Jagan?
You want to bring Jagan in as
Possibly.
well?
Yeah. Jagan. You're still only at one.
You're still at 201. We need about 670 seats more. Sandeep, come on.
I would think that the BSP would gravitate towards this formation.
No, from the outside. If you bring the BSP in, then the SP has to go out.
I think their thinking would be predicated with the fact that they will come to power at the center. They will join this formation. If you're building a coalition of this sort, the BSP will join this coalition.
No, but you're saying that the BSP will support the SP and be together
as long as the fruits of power, uninterrupted power can be enjoyed.
Let's assume that happens.
I would bring the left in as outside support.
So you're saying BSP and left can give outside support.
Yes. Okay. Then where are you?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the scenario.
BSP and the left give outside support.
RJD,
Lalu will be part of the government.
Where's
on top?
Lalu's here. 7 seats with Lalu.
And DMK. You've not got Amma's DMK.
No, AIDMK will of course come.
No. Anna is incapable of doing anything with Sonia Gandhi.
DMK.
It has to be the DMK. But DMK adds only 4 seats to this tally.
You have a government.
No, 266. You still don't have a government.
You have a government.
You do. You still need a few more seats.
No, that can be cobbled up.
Now getting up 10 is not a problem.
No, JDS will go wherever they find power.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the JDS can gravitate to the matrix.
So then there will be independence you're not looking at.
But this is a disaster. If this sort of a government is formed, it will be very, very difficult.
Just one more thing. The Congress will not be part of this government. The Congress will do what it did with Gujarat and Devegowda. It will support it from outside.
Okay. So, but
the Congress reckons as you do.
16 seats, Congress cannot pose a prime ministerial candidate on this.
Correct. So the Congress will do what it did when Narasimha Rao lost. It will say we have lost the moral right to rule. However, we don't wish to let dirty communal forces come to power. Blah, blah, blah. So we will support a regional government from the outside.
Okay, let's try and get a reaction from Gaurav Bhatia from the Samajwadi Party. He's joining us on this broadcast. Gaurav, what do you make of these numbers? All sorts of permutations and combinations will be required to be able to form the next government, Gaurav.
Yeah, Rahul, I'm saying one thing is clear from the e-voter survey, that the UPA is going out. UPA is losing out heavily. Congress is losing on 90 seats. Let me complete myself, please. The BJP is not emerging as an alternative, so it is clear that the regional parties would play a crucial role. I, however, beg to differ from the survey where only 29 seats are being given to the Samajwadi Party. I think the Samajwadi Party would get nothing less than 55 seats in the state of UP. And the survey also shows that the BSP is gaining, whereas I would like to point out that the voters are voting out UPA because of corruption. The BSP also is being exposed in UP. Corruption is a big issue there. There is no way that the BSP would gain there. And also I would like to point out that certain commentators were saying that BSP would be in with Mamta as well as Jayalalitha. So I would say that left and SP are more cohesive and can work together in a far more effective way than the BSP and the other parties. SP definitely would be the pivotal point and would play a crucial role in the formation of a third front or an alternative front government.
Okay, I want to understand also from Rajiv Pratap Rudy of the BJP, if this sort of a dumbled coalition or if these sort of jumbled numbers were to come, how do you see the next government being formed, Mr. Rudy?
Well, this is exactly what I was trying to say, that this is possibly what is the situation now. We appreciate this point that there is a backlash against the Congress government, the UPA government, and UPA government is certain to go. The challenge exactly is for the BJP, and the BJP is aware of this situation which you are talking about, and this is exactly what we need to address in next 1 year and prior to the elections. I think the people would ultimately bank, because my friend there says that Samajwadi Party would get 55. These are bizarre arguments. There would be certainly a sense of a proportion which will come in this country, and at the end of the day, it will not be as strong a government as one would desire to have, but it would certainly be not exactly, because we have another 6 months to go when the mood of the nation can be actually ascertained. So I am not very convinced that if UPA is going, it's not the NDA which is the gainer, it is others, which possibly could be at a given point of time, but this would not survive for a very long time.
Okay.
And this is exactly what the BJP is working on.
Sandeep Bamzai, from a foreign investor perspective, also from the perspective of Indian investors, this is disastrous. You know, this is the last thing anybody wants, because this jumbled government, you know, is not going to be able to function cohesively.
True, but I'm amazed at the squeamishness which is being displayed by the BJP leaders. We're not factoring one thing which is very crucial in all the prognosis, projections, whatever else you want to call it. Narendra Modi.
We're coming to that.
But it all changes. It changes completely.
Sandeep is trying to give the surprise away.
There is no question of this pole standing on two legs once Narendra Modi is
So we're actually going to look at that. I want to bring in GVL Narasimha Rao as well. GVL, what do you make of the current Khichdi government? You know, no one really being able to be strong enough to hold the government together. Can these parties put together?
I think Third Front can at best be a very bad compromise. So knowingly, the country is not going to vote for a Khichdi government. So a Third Front is something that the country might have to be saddled with if the numbers don't come along the NDA way. But as Rajiv Pratap Rudy was saying, I think elections are still a few months away, and BJP, once you have the momentum, I think you are giving about 38 seats or so to the BJP. So with the single largest party status, once the people come to know about it, I think there will be a gain. I don't see any problem of BJP crossing about 150, but what I am looking at is the BJP needs well over 200 to be able to form very stable and a completely alternative government, where this government has completely failed.
I want to bring in Professor Sugata Roy. Professor Sugata Roy, what do you make of these numbers? Do you believe that Mamata Banerjee will be able to work with the Mulayam or Mayawati, with the Jayalalitha? All of them have big egos, big personalities, individual agendas. Can they come together and work?
See, it's not a question of who will be able to work with whom. The fact is that the Congress is going down badly, and Trinamool Congress wants the Congress to go out, the UPA to go out. The fact is also that the BJP is not coming up sufficient to really provide an alternative. So we cannot do anything except the political realities. So, and that political reality will not be decided by investors, Indian or foreign. That will be decided on the situation in the ground. Though it is too early and premature to work out permutations and combinations, if the country is faced with a situation where neither Congress or BJP is able to give a substantive government and a third front becomes an inevitability, then I'm sure that we shall learn to work on that basis.
Okay.
And I'm sure that in the interest of the country, people will work to that end. We have not had experience. We had earlier a one-party dominant system. Then we had a two dominant party system. It seems that both are collapsing, and we are in transition to a third front.
The one thing which is clear, Tehseen Poonawalla, is that regardless of whether this third front can come together or not, the Congress is being decimated, and that is very, very clear.
I disagree with that. What this survey actually shows is, despite fudged up figures by outgoing accountants, despite all the screaming and shouting and the ranting by the BJP, the fact is there is no credible opposition, which means the people still have faith in this government. Number one. Number two, as Sandeep said, look at the formation. Mulayam, Mamta. Is that what India wants? People vote differently in national elections. They vote differently in regional elections. This is a government that stood up for reforms compared to the BJP. From the nuclear deal to FDI to insurance and pension reforms to GST, they have opposed every reform. Stalled parliament. The people of this country are not to vote for the BJP.
Okay.
They are not voting for Mamta and Mulayam. This government, I mean, there is no alternative to the Congress. This survey actually shows that.
Dr. Maitreyan, do you think Jayalalitha will be able to work with other strong personalities like Mamta Banerjee, like Mulayam, to be able to run the next government, because she's used to being her own empress? You know, she does what she wants. Will these strong personalities be able to cobble together and work together, sir?
See, your results have shown very clearly that the coalition governments have come to stay. And one fact is very clear, the country has rejected Congress lock, stock and barrel. They have been decimated by nearly 50%. Ultimately, unfortunately, even BJP has not risen up to fill the vacuum. So the rate of fall of Congress and the pace of growth of BJP, they do not match with each other. There is a vacuum. So the regional parties definitely will fill in that place. And AIDMK under Madam's leadership is a regional party with a national perspective. Definitely Madam will take the right call at the appropriate time. But the rank and file of the party and the people of Tamil Nadu, we definitely want Madam to lead the country, because the country needs a strong leader.
Okay, you're saying the country needs a strong leader. So let me now come to the last part of the headlines today, see what are projections. And in this part, we look at what happens if Modi were projected by the BJP. There's a big national executive slated to take place in Goa. There's pressure on the ground already. If the BJP were to bite the bullet and project Modi, would the situation on the ground change? Yashwant Deshmukh, if you could accompany me, please, because so far this has been discussed in drawing rooms, it's been discussed in boardrooms, but never has it been discussed in an opinion poll. So let's look at that very crucial figure and let's try and put down some numbers to it. We asked respondents whether the voting pattern would change if the BJP were to project Narendra Modi as the next Prime Minister. Here is what happens if Modi is not projected. The NDA would end up at 179 according to the C-voter figures. The UPA would end up at 132. The third front would end up at 232 if everything were to remain the way it is.
The algorithm works in two ways, not just Modi. It's the question is, if the NDA is led by Narendra Modi directly and the UPA is led by Rahul Gandhi directly, what exactly is the impression or the numbers which are going to come out?
No, because these numbers will become a big talking point.
Yes.
This is the first time something like this is being done. So before I put the numbers out, I want you, Yashwant, to explain to our viewers how is it that this was calculated.
There will be very other questions to which we discuss here tomorrow in our program, Rahul. The number which are directly attributed to the leadership of Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi's scenario. So we have done the entire calculation. The next number which is done is basically if NDA is being, or the BJP is led by Modi directly as the prime ministerial candidate, and if Congress is directly led by the Prince
so if Rahul leads the Congress, if Modi leads the BJP, what happens? Let's put those projections up on our screen right now. If the BJP were to project Narendra Modi, what would change?
So let's
this is the vote share.
This is the
Currently,
vote share.
the NDA with 31% of the vote, the UPA from 37 down to 24, the others with 37. If Modi were to be projected, the NDA's vote share would jump up.
5% swing, but surprise. This is very classical. As Modi takes NDA plus 5, there is a counter reaction and Congress and UPA also goes up by plus 3. So basically what it says that the movement Modi comes up, things become bipolar in nature, and then the third front votes come down by 8%. So it's all about giving an alternative. It's about clarity of the leadership. It's about people want to see who is leading.
Let's take a look at the seat share also. If the BJP were to project Narendra Modi, how would the seat share change? Currently, the NDA would get 179, the UPA 132. Let's see what happens if Modi is projected. The BJP and the NDA get a gain of 41 seats. Their tally jumps up to 220, still lesser than the majority figure of 272. Whereas the UPA also gains by 23 seats. That's good, not just for the Congress, but also for the BJP. Their tally going up to 155, a gain of 23 if they didn't project Modi. Whereas the biggest losers are the third front, coming down by 64 seats. Why does this happen?
This is happening because of the direct contest, especially in the urban area. And we know that urban India or the middle class India is now a vote bank in itself. They don't want the third front to emerge. They want a bipolar contest between these two parties. And right now, the confusion is prevailing only because BJP is unable to project Modi directly as the PM candidate. Congress is not projecting Rahul as the direct PM candidate. If that happens, it will be a bipolar contest where NDA goes up by 40. So the Narendra Modi factor is 40 plus for the NDA and the BJP. The Rahul factor is plus 23 for the UPA and the Congress. And the contest is much more bipolar.
It's not just the Rahul factor, it's also the Modi factor, which means that the minorities which might have gone towards the SP, the BSP, come towards the Congress party. I want to bring in at this time senior leader of the BJP, Ravi Shankar Prasad. He's joining us on this broadcast, sir. What our numbers show are two things. Before you came in, we looked at what would happen if Narendra Modi is not projected. We're now looking at what happens if Narendra Modi is projected. It becomes more of a bipolar fight. Is the BJP prepared to bite the bullet, make this a bipolar fight, or will you hedge your bets? What do you make of the sea water projections, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad?
Well, Rahul, first of all, let me clarify one thing. What your survey is indicating is only confirming the nature of India's polity in the last about 10 years. Voters give clear majority in states after states. This phenomena is just to demonstrate conclusively at the national level. Even in Uttar Pradesh, defying all the predictions, it gave a conclusive majority. In my own state of Bihar, 2/3 majority the second time. Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, other states are happening. Now, why it is happening? It is happening for the reason that voters want stability. They want a stable government can deliver or cannot deliver, so that to be taken into account after 5 years, as the case may be. Therefore, in spite of Modi not being projected, I will add that separately. There is a clear swing much away from the Congress. The people are wanting an alternative. Now, why this great, I would say, appreciation for Mr. Modi's role? As I see it, Rahul, Mr. Modi is being appreciated, being talked in glowing terms because of his qualities of leadership, his governance with integrity, and a whole range of other things which are delivered to people of all community. You talked of bipolar. Bipolar simply means one group led by the Congress, other groups led by the BJP. And yes, I agree with you, even today, third front is history, having no relevance for the past, present, nor any
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the numbers are different from what you suggest. The numbers are not that it's a bipolar contest between BJP and Congress. In the current situation, it is not. The numbers indicate if and only if the BJP were to project Narendra Modi, then it becomes a bipolar contest. Otherwise, it's the third front which is picking up many more seats and much more votes than the BJP. Why do you think that's happening, Mr. Prasad?
Well, I can only say it is presently, the voters are making up their mind. You know, let me reply to your query in two ways. Even if Mr. Modi is not there, certainly he is the most popular leader, we are proud of him. Then the voters are indicating their preferences. And once the election comes closer, Rahul, it will become a kind of an accelerated movement where the ideas would be concretized. Mr. Modi at the helms, Mr. Modi's, the urge from Mr. Modi is directly proportionate to the lackluster performance of Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi's government.
Why is it so difficult for the BJP to bite the bullet, Mr. Prasad? If this is the first time that an opinion poll is putting this out, but this has been known in political circles, especially in the BJP for a long time, it seems despite the overwhelming logic, the BJP still can't make up its mind and actually bite that bullet.
Well, Rahul, I'm sure that making up the mind will not happen in your studio with you as an anchor. It will happen in the parliamentary board. Give it that chance. Surely we are quite alive to the situation. The parliamentary board, our president has repeatedly stated, will take a call. We are not a family-run concern. that only a Gandhi will become. This question you are asking of me repeatedly. Have you ever asked as to who will be the PM's candidate from the Congress party? Congress has said Manmohan Singh till 2014. Manmohan Singh himself not ruling out the third term. Rahul Gandhi, a reluctant politician, unable to explain his own vision for the future. Therefore, please ask these questions from Congress as well. But assuming for the sake of argument that these predictions are or survey is as it is, sure the party will take a call on it at appropriate time. I can only assure you and your viewers that BJP-led NDA will give this country delivery, development and deliverance as we did in the case of Mr. Bajpayee, and today the country is shamed under the leadership of Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi.
Stay with me for a moment. Dependence of the BJP on Narendra Modi and their reluctance to actually appoint him. What do you make of these figures?
Well, I think these figures suggest the BJP should no longer be reluctant about Narendra Modi. The big worry has been what happens if Nitish Kumar goes away. But my feeling is they might actually do okay in Bihar if they were to fight on their own. If Nitish Kumar goes away and Mr. Modi is able to get Jayalalitha on his side, which I don't think will be very difficult, I think pretty much, and these figures hold, I think they're pretty much within striking distance of majority.
They are within striking distance, but the reality is to project Narendra Modi also makes this bipolar in that sense. It makes it bipolar, so Congress is also gaining. It's not just the BJP that's gaining. It becomes a Congress versus BJP fight the moment you bring Modi into the equation.
You know, it's very, very interesting. You ask anybody from the BJP a question about BJP, they speak about the Congress. It's called Congress phobia. They're scared of the Congress. Speak about their leadership. Why are they bothered about our leadership? Number one. Point number two, and very important, please bring Narendra Modi, bring anybody. We saw what he did in Himachal Pradesh, we saw what he did in Karnataka. In Karnataka, the BJP in Karnataka wanted him to save their face. He didn't want to go there to save his face. The Congress doesn't even take him seriously. He talks through his hat. We don't take him seriously. Good governance, the figures speak for himself. Elections are not won on Twitter. They are not won outsourced to APCO. Elections are won on the ground.
Okay, so I want to now take a look, and this is very interesting. Let's extend the Modi impact argument further, and let's look at what might happen in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These are the two important states. Let me go across and take a look at what happens in Bihar. Let's try and analyze the Modi impact first, starting with Uttar Pradesh. I'll ask my producer to bring the numbers. You saw the old numbers. Let's see what happens if Modi is projected in Uttar Pradesh. Without Modi, the Samajwadi Party is at 29. With Modi, they come to 30. The SP gains 1 seat. The Congress, which is at 6, comes down to 4, a loss of 2. The BSP, which is at 27, comes down to 16. They are the biggest losers if Modi is projected by the BJP, because their seat share comes down by 11. The BJP from 14 jumps up to 29, a gain of 15. The RLD is at 4, comes down to 1. It's a loss of 3. So it's the RLD, it's Ajit Singh and BSP which is losing if Modi is projected. Why is that?
And reason is very clear. The reason why BSP or the RLD is getting these kind of figures over here is largely, and especially the BSP, largely because of the upper caste vote on the top of their Dalit vote. If Modi comes into the picture and Modi contests from Uttar Pradesh himself, it is going to be a bipolar between Mulayam Singh Yadav and Narendra Modi himself, between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP itself. So in that entire process, the polarization of the upper caste towards the BJP and the counter polarization of the minorities towards the Mulayam Singh Yadav camp, this is where it is hurting the BSP the most and other small players in the most.
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, given the fact that the BJP has now made Amit Shah in charge of Uttar Pradesh, does it mean that these calculations have been done internally and that decision has already been taken and it's only a matter of time before it's announced to the public? Is that the reality, sir?
Rahul, first of all, remember one thing. I believe that a lot of inputs are post-Karnataka elections. Even after Karnataka election result, which we knew we will lose, we have discussed that because of the fact that we prefer to stay with principle than with power. Now, post-Karnataka feedback in terms of your survey, and many surveys yesterday also, is indicating the kind of feeling and appreciation the voters are having for Mr. Modi. As for your query about Mr. Amit Shah is concerned, Amit Shah is a very seasoned political activist. He has held the General Secretary post, the Minister's post for a long time in Gujarat. Today he has come on the national level. Surely he brings into record his wide experience of organizational affairs, electioneering to the state of Uttar Pradesh. We have been a little weak there. Therefore, if his presence is going to infuse the cadre and reinvigorate the organization, it is good.
Okay.
And we are very happy that your survey is also indicating the same thing.
We've spoken of Uttar Pradesh, but what happens in Bihar? Because that is where Nitish Kumar comes from. That is where the real battle really is. If Narendra Modi were to be protected, we've seen so far the BJP gains 14 seats in UP, but what happens in Bihar? Let's now ask our producers, bring those figures up on our screen right now, the Modi impact in Bihar. Nitish Kumar's party will lose 9 seats, crashing 10 seats from 19 to 9. That's a loss of 10 seats if Modi is projected. Whereas the BJP will jump from 11 to 18. That's a gain of 7 seats. The RJD from 7 to 9. That's a gain of 2 seats. Why is this happening, Yashwant Deshmukh?
This is primarily happening because of the split verdicts of the Bihar voters. At the parliamentary level, when we ask them if they are contesting separately and Narendra Modi is projected as the prime ministerial candidate, then majority of the anti-Congress, anti-Lalu vote actually get into the BJP's favor. But the same question when we ask about the assembly level, just the opposite happens and majority of those voters stick to Nitish Kumar. So it's like evolving of the voters at which level, which candidate they want to see in power. But yes, it is very clear. If Nitish Kumar takes a stand of going away with an NDA, if Modi is projected, it is going to have a different result what Nitish could have imagined. In fact, BJP is going to gain more out of
Veer Sanghvi, do you agree with this? Because a lot of people would say that the BJP vote, the NDA vote gets split and that would hurt the BJP. Do you actually see the BJP benefit by projecting Modi in Bihar?
Well, there has been a view within the BJP, Rudy was earlier on the program show, Ravi Shankar Prasad, an unguarded moment to be honest, that the alliance with Nitish is actually costing the BJP too much. That if the BJP had developed its own base and starts now, it will actually do okay. What your figures suggest is that the view of the dissenters within the BJP who would rather go it alone is actually accurate. As far as UP is concerned, the one time the BJP has done really well is when there was an Ayodhya wave. What this is suggesting is that if there's a polarized Hindutva type wave in UP, once again they will do well. So given these arguments and assuming I have a general rule when I come on to programs I don't question the figures. So let's assume that these figures are accurate. It makes no sense for the BJP not to appoint Modi their candidate.
If these figures are as simple as C-voter makes them out to be, why has this decision already not been taken, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad? Because if the BJP actually gains 10 seats by projecting Modi and the JDU loses 9 seats, that essentially means that it's win-win for the BJP.
First of all, Rahul, let me explain one thing. Bihar is my state.
Yes.
I know it a little more than you.
Absolutely.
As far as Bihar is concerned, JDU and BJP alliance is not a political alliance simpliciter. It is also a social alliance. For change in Bihar, which has happened, we are very proud of that. We have contested 6 Lok Sabha elections together, 6 Vidhan Sabha elections together. Yes, I know JDU has indicated certain reservations if Mr. Modi is projected. We will try to reason out with them. We will try to convince them. We talk to each other. Let's see how it works out. But why your results are indicating what it is indicating? It indicates one thing is very clear. As I see as a political activist in Bihar, I know the maturity of the voters of my state. They know that JDU by itself or the third front by itself or Congress cannot come as an alternative. The alternative will only come by the BJP as a big party leading the NDA if Mr. Modi is projected. Now the shift which you are indicating is a kind of maturity that they want an alternative in Delhi and they also identify the instrument through which an alternative can be achieved. So that is a kind of maturing of the voting pattern of Bihar.
Okay, I want to get in reactions from the other parties as well. Starting with Dr. Maitreyan of the AIADMK on this Modi factor. Jayalalitha has amongst regional satraps, amongst the best relations with Narendra Modi. So this actually works well for the AIADMK with your 30 odd seats. Modi pushing up the BJP. Poise Garden would be happy, Dr. Maitreyan.
See, as you said, Madam and Modi have good relations. That is different. Good relations at personal levels is different from politics in general. And as far as we are concerned, we are fighting the elections in Tamil Nadu on our own, neither with BJP nor with Congress. And we will get our numbers. Post-election, Madam will take the appropriate call.
No, so you're saying that if Narendra Modi were to be projected, Jayalalitha is open to the possibility of an alliance with BJP like the old NDA days. She gave Vajpayee ji a tough time, but was a part of the NDA. That is likely to happen again.
I
She
didn't
brought
say
it down.
that.
Yes.
AIDMK is a regional party with a national perspective. Madam is a patriotic person. She is a nationalist to the core, and she will take in the best interest of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, I want to get a reaction from the BJD as well. Kalikesh, what do you make of sea voters' projections of the impact of Narendra Modi on the next elections?
Well, Rahul, Narendra Modi has always been a polarizing factor, and it's not unusual that he's going to be a polarizing factor in the next elections too. But I can tell you, as far as the state of Orissa is concerned, it will have no impact. In fact, I'd wager that we'll get more than the 14 seats that you predicted for us. Now, having said that, our party position is absolutely clear. We will have no truck with either the Congress or the BJP.
Okay, I want to also go across to the Samajwadi Party. It seems to become a direct contest between Mulayam and Akhilesh and the BJP. Gaurav, if the BJP were to project Narendra Modi, if BJP doesn't project Narendra Modi, then it's more a contest between Mayawati and Mulayam. If the BJP contests with Narendra Modi at the helm, then it becomes a face-off between the BJP and Mulayam is also gaining as a consequence of that, Gaurav.
One thing is clear from the survey, with or without Modi, the Samajwadi Party is going to emerge as the single largest party and would do very well in the forthcoming elections. Having said that, I would say that the voters of UP, and UP being my home state, I can confidently say would not go for the tactics that were adopted by BJP earlier, Ram Temple and communal lines, all that has been rejected. The voters are far more mature and they would opt for the Samajwadi Party, which is giving them good governance and has secular credentials. That is clear. So I am very confident that Samajwadi Party would fetch far more than 30 seats, up to 50-55 seats than shown in the survey.
Rajiv, it's interesting how while the Congress benefits if you project Rahul Gandhi, your gains are half those of the BJP. So as a vote-catching machine, when you compare Rahul and Modi, Rahul seems to hold all the cards because he's pulling in many more voters, many more seats than Rahul Gandhi is.
Basically, I don't see Modi having any impact at all, actually. We've seen that in Karnataka. And what we're going to see is, maybe more alliances that will emerge now. If these voter numbers are to be believed, then I think we're going to see all kinds of realignments, and you will have to do another set of surveys based on the newer changes, the newer alliances that will come forth in the future.
I have time only for quick final comments from Ravi Shankar Prasad. Do you think on the back of this poll, the BJP's hands will be forced? In some senses, we know that Advani ji is reluctant. He would not like to see Modi being projected. That's been the buzz all around Delhi. Given these polls, do you think the BJP will be left with no option but to expedite a decision maybe at the national executive that takes place in Goa? With Ravi Shankar Prasad?
Rahul, I'm surprised that you know more about my party than I do myself. Who is angry with whom, who is angry with not. Yes, I do concede that Mr. Modi today is the most popular leader. He enthuses the cadre. Leave the parliamentary vote to take a call. But let me give my parting shot. What is my parting shot? This whole polarizing and non-polarizing. Why Mr. Modi is being depicted in glowing terms by the voters of the country in terms of a survey? It is because of his record of governance, his personal integrity, and above all, the way he has taken decisive decisions to ensure growth, and the kind of projection he has given about his personality and governance, repeatedly appreciated, including by your channel, as the best chief minister of the country for many times. The people of the country seeing it in direct opposition to the great mal-governance which we have been seeing in the country for the last 9 years. On UP, I have to make only one take. I leave Mr. Gaurav the liberty of criticizing him. That is their right, I respect that. But don't forget, in Uttar Pradesh, BJP used to win 58-59 seats at one point of time, 91, 96, 98. So हमारी जमीन वहां बहुत है. If UP today is coming towards the BJP, maybe through the persona of Mr. Modi, it is basically trying to reclaim the lost ground of BJP upon the instrument of robust nationalism, good governance and national security. This is how I see it. And your voters are only indicating that they want a change. They are fed up with the Congress.
Well, an opinion poll is just a set of numbers extrapolated on the national political scene. It's like straws in the air. It just gives you a sense of which way the winds are blowing, and make no mistake, without Narendra Modi being projected, the BJP not doing very well. The big story from this opinion poll is the BJP needs to take a decision and make a decision quick. It will also help the Congress, it will help the BJP, but the sooner the decision is taken, the more it will help viewers decide whether they want to back a Modi-led NDA or not. I hope this program will be discussed all across the country, within parties, in drawing rooms. You make what you will of these figures. To all my guests for joining us for what's been a fascinating 2 hours of number crunching, thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. The UPA will present its own report card, Headlines Today, and Sea Water will be presenting what people think of the Manmohan Singh government.